Culture Roiv Galera Rish Gobalya Trim. Welcome to another Matt and Michael lockdown. This week I'm in front of the yellow steeple, which is the remains of the bell tower of St. Mary's Abbey, Trim, an Augustinian abbey dedicated to the Blessed Virgin. This tower is 40 metres high, and the name apparently comes from the yellow colour reflected by the stonework when the sun is setting. It's on the north bank of the River Boyne, opposite Trim Castle. In the Middle Ages, the abbey was a pilgrimage site, famous for the healing power of its statue of the Virgin Mary, Our Lady of Trim. It was dissolved under Henry VIII during the Reformation, and the yellow steeple was supposed to have been partly destroyed by Oliver Cromwell. It's said that the wooden statue of Our Lady of Trim was eventually burned as firewood.
Hello everybody. I took a Figeri today to Figeri. Are you familiar with that word Figeri? You don't hear it too often, I suppose, nowadays, but I often took Figeris. All of us took Figeris in my younger day. Just took a notion to do something spontaneously. That's, to me, taking a Figeri. And the song I'm spontaneously inflicting upon you today is called We'll Gather Lilacs in the Spring. And it's written by Ivor Novello, the Welshman. And he wrote it in 1945, in my lifetime. So, in that sense, it's not that old to me, but I've always liked it. It's very tuneful, and to sing the whole song, I should really have a soprano by my side. I'd love to sing the duet, but since I don't have the soprano, I just have to sing the chorus, hoping that you will all join in and sing it with me. In that sense, then we'll get the job done. We'll gather lilacs in the spring again and walk together down an English lane until our hearts have learned to sing again. When you come home once more, and in the evening by the firelight's glow, I'll hold you close and never let you go. Your eyes will tell me all I want to know. When you come home once more. And in the evening, by the firelight's glow, you'll hold me close and never let me go. All I want to know when you come home once more.
Here is a poem called Where Go the Boats by Robert Louis Stevenson. He was a Scottish writer born in 1850 who suffered ill health most of his life and ended up on an island in Samoa, where he died in 1894. He's well known for Treasure Island, Kidnapped, and other adventure stories, as well as poems for children. I found this in this Irish school textbook, Young Ireland Reader Introductory Book, published by Brown and Nolan. I think these were used around the late 40s and early 50s in Irish schools. And this was probably used in, I imagine, senior infants first class. Would you like to see a couple of pages from that textbook? Brings you back to when you were in senior infants or maybe first class. Sam and Spot. I am Sam. This is my dog. His name is Spot. Spot is a good dog. He can bark and run. He does not like the cat. The cat cannot bark. The dog says bow wow. The cat says meow. The bus. Here is the bus. It is a big green bus. Get on the bus. Let us go on top. I like to go on top of the bus. Do not get off till the bus stops. Stop and look before you cross the street. The illustrations are by the Kilbeggan, County Westmeath artist Eileen Coughlin. Where go the boats? Dark brown is the river, golden is the sand. It flows along forever, with trees on either hand. Green leaves a-floating, castles of the foam, boats of mine a-boating. Where will all come home? On goes the river, and out past the mill, away down the valley, away down the hill, away down the river, 100 miles or more. Other little children shall bring my boats ashore.
Hello friends and fellow songsters. I'm coming to you today with a surprise. At least I think it's a surprise. Oh, this song is one that I learned about 50, 60 years ago. I think it was taught to me by a fella called Frankie Ty, with whom I used to be friendly about 70 years ago, and with whom I reconnected on this system in recent times. And it's a lively number written by a fella called Paddy Murray, if I remember correctly, Kells man. And now, if my information is incorrect, somebody would please correct me. If my information is correct, somebody equally might affirm that I'm correct. That would help matters. Help settle me down in my old age. I'm taking the first puff to Ballyjames Duff, oh Ballyjames Duff. Taking the first puff to Ballyjames Duff, to the little town where I was born. I get no rebuff in Ballyjames Duff, oh Ballyjames Duff. I get no rebuff in Ballyjamstone, where the kindly neighbours know me so long. Oh, my name is Paddy Aloysius Riley, and for years they've been calling me back. I respect the love and wish you so highly, I can scarcely wait another blessed moment to pack. I'm gonna fall in love in Ballyjamstone, Ballyjamstone, oh Ballyjamstone. Gonna fall in love in Ballyjamstone, in the little town where I was born. Oh, my name is Paddy Aloysius Riley, and for years they've been calling me back. I respect their love and wish you so highly, I can scarcely wait another blessed moment to pack. I'm gonna fall in love in Ballyjamstone, Ballyjamstone, oh Ballyjamstone. I'm gonna fall in love in Ballyjamstone and settle down in my hometown and never have enough of Ballyjamstone. Thank you.
Here is a poem of mine, which was written as a result of a grandson sleeping over in our house. And it's a meditation on sons and fathers and grandsons. The he in the poem is sometimes my grandson, sometimes my son, and sometimes my father. Grandson sleepover. Before I go to sleep, I check. Head on the pillow, breathing. The same pillow, bed, room, where I checked his father. He now checks nightly. Then my father was alive, recalling my head on a pillow. He still checked the weekly phone call. All checking ends the same way. I see his still head, silent on the smallest pillow, hold his cold hand for the last time. Asleep, you are innocent of this. When my children ring for news, I reassure them, clear-headedly name-check their children. Night after night after night, I lay my head on a pillow. Go there, here, everywhere. Hope for the morning. Before I go to sleep, I check.
You'll have heard recently of the sad death of Pete St. John, the singer-songwriter born in Dublin, who's best known for songs like The Fields of Athenry and The Ferryman. There is at least one Trim connection with Pete St. John. Back in the late 1980s, St. Michael's Boys National School ran pony races as a fundraiser, and they included a nun run, which made headlines not only in Ireland, but abroad as well. And Pete St. John visited the pony races and wrote a song called The Nun Run. I haven't heard it in years, and I don't know if anyone even has a copy of it anymore, but it is listed in a list of his songs on his website. We're going to pay tribute now to Pete St. John with a song of his, another of his best known ones, The Rare Owl Times. It's going to be sung by Michael Meegan, who was a singing companion of Matt for about 40 years. Michael sadly died in 2011. We're going to illustrate this not with pictures of Dublin in the rare old times, but with Trim pictures. This recording was made in Arizona during a tour in the 1980s.
Raised on song and story, heroes of renown, the passing tales and glories that once was Dublin town. The hallowed halls and houses, the haunting children's rhymes, that once was part of Dublin in the rare old times. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I remember Dublin city in the rare old times. Oh, me name it is Sean Dempsey, as Dublin as can be, born hard and late in Pimlico, in a house that ceased to be. By trade I was a cooper, lost out to redundancy, like my house that fell to progress, my trade and memory. And I courted Peggy Dignan, as pretty as you please, oh, a rogue and a child of Mary, from the rebel liberties. I lost her to a student lad, with skin as black as coal, when he took her out to Birmingham, she took away my soul. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I remember Dublin city in the rare old times. Oh, the years have made me bitter, the drink has dimmed my brain, for Dublin it keeps changing, nothing stays the same. The Metropole and Pillar are gone, the Royal long since pulled down, and that grey unyielding concrete makes a city of my town. Fare thee well, sweet Anna Livy, I can no longer stay and watch the new glass cages rise up along the quay. My mind's too full of memories, too old to hear new chimes, but I'm still a part of Dublin in the rare old times. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I remember Dublin city in the rare old times.
Having already mentioned St. Michael's Boys National School Trim, I thought we'd finish this week with this song by St. Michael's Choir, which they recorded to celebrate Lá Éile Pádraig. The song is called Uncolleen. It was also recorded to raise money for the Irish Red Cross to support people displaced by war in Ukraine. They've already raised well over €1,000, so if you feel like donating, please do. Until we see you again next week, take care and God bless.
Gani er Slava Ukraini!